Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this Chaos Zero Nightmare video. So in this Chaos Zero Nightmare video, we're going to talk about our save data guide, where we break down all the different pointers you want to take note of, as well as showcase the calculations as well as our own decks, so that you guys can actually see how all these 170s are arrived at and how you should plan your chaos runs so you can min-max on your deck building. I'll be including all the calculators in the description down below. So these are not done by me, these are done by the community. So kudos to whoever done it. There's quite a few calculators around. So I took two in specific to showcase for today's video. Okay, so starting off, we have the basics. So there is this save data cap based off your faint memory right here. So if we go into our Yugi, go into the details, this save data right here has this faint memory of 80 points. So the cap of this faint memory will decide how much cards, Divine Epiphemies, replications, as well as forbidden cards you can carry with you. And the higher upper limit is decided by the difficulty of the dungeons. So if we go back into this list, I think this is slightly outdated, but the highest cap right now is 15. So the most faint memory data you can carry in your deck is 170. So it starts off at 30, increases in difficulty. So basically, the tougher the dungeon, the higher the cap for your deck. So you want to try to go for the tougher dungeon so you can increase your cap size. But for your faint memory cap itself, it doesn't mean that having a higher cap means that your deck or your save data will necessarily be better, because there are other factors such as the Divine Epiphany, the Epiphany upgrade, as well as the replication, which will dictate the end result. But generally, a higher cap often results in a better deck because you can do more with the save data. So that's with regards to the basics. Okay, so before we start, here are the different points calculation for the different cards. So neutral card, every card costs you 20. And if you get your Epiphany upgrade, it's plus 10. If it's a Divine upgrade, then it's 20. So how do you differentiate between this Epiphany as well as the Divine Epiphany upgrade? So we go into this deck over here. Yeah, okay. So any card with this icon or this icon, so this special icon below the cost of the card, they're considered Divine Epiphany upgrade. Okay, and then any card with this circle below is considered the normal Epiphany upgrade. So any cards without it, they don't have the upgrade itself. So that's with regards to the differences between the different Epiphemies. Most importantly, if it's a special logo, it's the Divine one. If it's a circle, it's the normal one. Now, if we continue down, okay, there's the monster cards. So monster cards are basically all the boss monster cards. So this one is, let me see whether or not I have a monster card. Okay, I do have a monster card right here. So this is a monster card, Wolfbane. So this is a card which is not that strong, right? And it costs 80 points. So generally, monster cards are, I will say subjective. There are certain monster cards which are insanely powerful, but because it costs a lot, they reduce the utility of the rest of your deck. So I wouldn't recommend getting them unless you want a very specific build built around the monster card. And one more thing to consider, even for the monster card itself, if you get the Epiphany upgrade, it's plus 10. If you get the Divine one, it's plus 20. So this Divine and normal Epiphany upgrade carries over to all the monster cards as well. So that's with regards to the additional point side. So for the Divine Epiphany upgrade, it's plus 20. And if this Divine upgrade actually falls on your basic card, usually your basic cards Epiphany upgrade costs 0, usually. So basic cards or starting cards in this case refers to the 8 basic cards for your characters. So this over here, so if you go into Yuki, it's this 8 base cards. So these are the starting cards for this table right here. So next up, we have the card removal and duplication. So this one is important because playing around with this will give you some insane powerful decks, because certain units wants to remove some of their basic cards and they want a very thin deck. Certain units can play around with all their cards and then they can save on the points so that you get the most value of other cards. But in general, for the removal side, these are the point system. So the first one is 0, second one is 10, 30, so on and so forth. And if the card that we remove is a base card, you get plus 20 on each removal as well. So that's why you don't want to remove too many basic cards, because If not, it will take up a lot of the points, and then you can't actually fill your decks with other good cards or other epiphany upgrades in general. So that's with regards to the removal side. And for the duplication side, same thing, the point system. First card 0, second card 10, 30, 50, so on and so forth. But do take note that if you copied a base card with the divine upgrade, there's a plus 20 to the point as well. So we'll showcase this point calculation later with a calculator. And then for the conversion side, so conversion happens when you convert certain cards into the neutral card or monster card from the different events. So this one usually is used to convert a base card into this neutral, and then you remove it. So when you remove it, at the first card it's 0, right? And you are not penalized for the base card removal. So that is some points hack for the cap side of things. And last but not least, forbidden card, they will always be in your deck and they cost 20 points. So there are some TLDRs done by the author of this calculator right here. So pretty much I'll say like the basics to take note of when you are building your deck, right? You want to have at least one duplication and one removal because the first one is free. And then you want to remove like the most useless card that you don't actually use for the character. So in most cases for the DPS, it will be the shield skill, and certain on certain occasions it's like maybe the 1 mana card, for example. So that's with regards to this duplication side. So you want to convert a base card and then remove it to avoid the penalty. So this is just a little bit of a hack, but sometimes you don't get the convert to base card event, and this is where you just remove it and then just calculate your points off there. So that's with regards to the second pointer. So for the Divine Epiphany as well as the neutral cards, do take note, this is very important because each neutral card costs 20 and each of the Divine upgrade costs 20, and then even the normal Epiphany upgrades on your neutral card, you want to sort of be careful with them because there are certain upgrades which are not very useful for certain characters and they waste your points. So if you have a better choice in terms of upgrade, choose the better choice, not the divine one always, because it's not like the best option all the time. Like in most cases, Divine Epiphany is the best one, but not all the time. So do take note. So this is something to take note of because I think people will look at the special logo like, wow, Divine, but it's not necessarily better because it will limit your cap, and then like their upgrade might not even be that optimal for the specific characters. So the fourth pointer, monster card costs 80. So so monster card at 80 is very, very costly. But I do have some build ideas where you build your decks around very specific monster cards, which will give you a lot of value. And this is where I think you want to avoid them in most cases. But if you have a specific build idea for the monster cards itself, then you can build around it, try to minimize the points from other cards, and then hopefully you get the best results. So that's with regards to the monster card. It costs too much for the cap. It's like 170 max right now. So like this is like roughly half of your deck if you get like a divine upgrade, for example. So something to be avoided, but can be used if you have very specific deck building ideas. So that's for the monster card. So last but not least, if you have a remove card event, delete themselves and don't increase save data. So this is one point to take note. And then last but not least, your gears as well as your equipments, they do not consume save data. So ideally, you want to go for the best equipments for your characters in most runs so that you're able to maximize at the very least on the equipment side in case the deck is not the most ideal. Okay, so next part, we will do some save data calculations. So first of all, it's quite difficult to keep track of all the points as you're running through your chaos runs. So ideally, you want to run a save data calculator in the background as you're doing your chaos dungeon runs to make sure that you're within the cap limit. So I'll be including this save data calculator in the description down below. So this is done by the community, not done by me. And just as a disclaimer, I think there are certain caveats which are not properly explained in terms of the layering of points, which I'll point out in a little bit. But I'll be doing this calculation live with you guys to show you guys how to use this calculator and do the points calculation for your own account. So starting off, we remove the protection card. So it's a basic card, so you have to add this 20 over here. So as you guys can see, if you do a 3-card removal, it costs you 100 points. And it will actually overload your points such that you don't have too much points to get other neutral cards in general. So ideally, it's a 2-card removal for the base cards. So for Rin's case, 1 protection removed. And then we have 3 neutral cards right here. Aggressive Mutant and Overwhelm. So moving back, we add 3 to the neutral card portion. And then we have 1 forbidden card. And for the base cards, we have 2 Divine Epiphany right here. So one on Annihilation and one on Inner Arts. So we add 2 over here. And we have replicated cards. So in this case, I replicated Inner Art 2 times. So this is represented by the other direction of the artwork itself. So this is the part which I think it's a little bit of a gray area, because we duplicated the card 2 times. And then we have the Divine tag on the replicated card. So right here, I believe it should just be a one-time Divine replicated, because if we were to do a 2-time, it's 190 and it doesn't make sense. So I think this part has to be experimented more with regards to replicating multiple copies of Divine cards. But what I believe is the case for this calculation is that for the second copy of the Divine card, maybe they don't calculate the points for it. Maybe. Not too sure about that. So just make sure that you're within the point limit every single time you do your run. So this is the advanced version calculator. There's also a basic version where you click on all the different upgrades on your base cards, removal, convert to neutral, and then you remove, and then you get your points calculation right here. So this is the easier version in terms of the calculation. And we will do it maybe with another unit. So in this case, let's do Veronica, right? So we have a Veronica. So this is the deck, 100 points. So for Veronica's case, same thing. We remove the shielding for Veronica. So remove card. So this costs you 20 points. And then we have Repose, Pendant, Sir Kowalski, as well as Bombardment. So we didn't remove any of the other 4 cards. But we have 2 Divine Epiphany upgrades on these 2 cards over here. So this will be one. This will be another one. And one of it is replicated. So we're going to replicate 1 copy of this card. And last but not least, we have the Eternal Hunger card. So we're going to add a Forbidden card. And this is how we arrive at the 100 points for our Veronica right here. So that's with regards to the point calculation. So maybe we'll do one more. Let's go into Haru, for example. So this is the pre-season deck. The pre-season deck, the point system works the same. So let's undo everything. We'll use the basic one because I think this will be easier for people to understand, like how these points are calculated. So for Haru's one, I removed 2 of her basic cards, Anchor as well as Anchor Drop, as you guys can see right here. So this is 2 cards removed. So ideally, you want to convert to common and then remove the basic card so that you avoid that basic card penalty. But I think I didn't do it, so that's why it's 50 points right here. And then we have 1 Divine Epiphany upgrade on Anchor Shot. So Anchor Shot is our ultimate card. We add 1 over here. And we have Anchor Pointer. So we have 1 copy, 2 copy, 3 copy. So 2 replicated. So let's include the replication for the thing. Replicate. Replicate. And we have Power Charge, which is one of our base cards with the Divine upgrade over here. So this one, let's go into this. So this one is Epiphany 2. We have the Divine Epiphany. So this is where we arrive at the 100 points for Haru right here. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just a few safe data guide calculator and some points reference for you guys to do your calculations as you run through your Chaos Dungeons. Hopefully this guide is helpful, and do remember to like and subscribe to see more from this channel. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!